Evolution of strategic human resource management. Strategic human resource management is a relatively a new field which has evolved out of the parent discipline of human resource management. Traditionally, the notion of HRM was treated as purely as an operational matter. So, organizations which invest in their human resources as a strategic and sustainable competitive advantage are the most successful ones. They recognize their personnel as the soul of their business. In addition, they adopt a set of practices and innovative technologies which are designed to develop, deploy, and connect the employees with professional skills and knowledge in order to achieve business priorities which represent the performance at an individual level, which is also known as a performance management. So, in any organization, human resource means the ultimate acceptance of its functions in the formulation and implementation of its strategies. In particular, human resource are recruiting, selecting, training, and rewarding personnel to increase the capacity of a business to execute its strategies. From the definition given by Taylor, strategic human resource management is a business objective rather than an individual one geared towards one thing, ensuring that an organization is able to do what it sets out to do in the present and in the future plans, respectively. And this assumes that capability is based on an organization's sole source of value and competitive advantage in a developed economy, that's its people. So, employers are a key success factor for any small businesses. Companies that can attract, train, and motivate the best talent have a significant competitive advantage over the competitors that ignore this particular resource. Since the beginning of the industrial age, human resources has evolved from a department simply taking employment applications to a highly specialized internal consulting organization. Let's try to understand how an emergence of strategic human resource management happened from the personnel management. The first period from the medieval times up to the year 1970. Here, the staff management had undergone many changes since the Industrial Revolution of the mid-18th century. So, this era was dominated by a Foreman-oriented personnel system which can be regarded as a first period. The craftspeople organized into the guilds to improve their working conditions. First-line supervisors were to handle most of their personal problems. After this Industrial Revolution, the substitution of the steam power and machinery for the time-consuming hand labor led to the establishment of the factories where the large number of people were employed. During the second period, that is from 1870 to 1909, the early personnel administrators replaced these foreman-oriented systems coupled with the rise of the scientific management. The third period, that is from 1909 to 1964, an era of the personnel management began where increasingly employee-related responsibilities are being assigned to these personnel departments. So by 1920, various titles of the personnel specialist jobs began to emerge. Departments like Bureau of Safety, Sanitation and Welfare, Industrial Relations and Sociological Department were established by the various firms. So the terms like recruitment, income plan, substantial insurance benefits, safety programs and medical divisions were also being used. Here the Hawthorne Behavioral Studies in 1923 which gave birth to human relations movement. Productivity is related to the group teamwork, cooperation and the happiness of the workers were very important during this particular period of the personnel management. The fourth period from 1964 to 1990, which observed a transition from personal management to human resource management. So the personnel departments were being viewed as a record keeping unit. The job of the personnel is regarded as a mixture of those of a file clerk, a social worker, a firefighter, and a head of a union trouble. The last period, which is known as the fifth period, with its beginning in 1990, the importance of linking the human resource management with the strategic goals and objectives laid the foundation for this transition of HRM towards a strategic human resource management. Here, the emerges the four HR strategy linkages. They are the administrative linkage, one-way linkage, two-way linkage, and the most advanced linkage is the integrated linkage. From the previous slide, we have seen the emergence of SHRM from the personal management. Now let's try to put this emergence of SHRM into four main stages. The first one, it is Industrial Revolution. So the basis for human capital management lies in making the arrangements for the welfare of apprentices to master the craftsmen in the Middle Ages and colonial times. The first HR evolution came in the 18th century when factories needed to hire and train thousands of workers quickly. So these employees initially worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, in condition even worse than those of medieval apprentices. Soon, however, the factory owners discovered that satisfied workers produced more and introduced programs to meet their basic needs. At the same time, federal and state governments began to regulate the working condition. The second stage is the personal management. Increased government regulations and the rise of labor unions led to the creation of these personal departments. During this era, which lasted from roughly 1900 to the 1960s, personal management was essentially an administrative function tasked with tracking the employee records, monitoring the performance appraisal process, and implementing the workplace safety, training, and anti-discrimination programs. So personal specialists also enforced the standards based upon scientific management principles, such as those of Frederick Taylor, who believed jobs should be simplified so workers could perform them in one best sequence of motions. Productivity increases or decreases provided a key measurement of personal department effectiveness. The third stage is in behavioral perspective. In the last part of the 20th century, the term human resources became very popular. Theories of behavioral scientists such as Abraham Maslow and Douglas McGregor demonstrated that the need for achievement, affiliation, or self-actualization was a stronger motivator for many employees than money. The American economy increasingly became service-oriented and knowledge-based, making recruiting and retaining the talented workers even more important. So human resource managers began to suggest and implement the changes such as more challenging work environments, active office, social communities, and more of free time. And the final stage, which is known as the strategic human resources. Here, the HR managers today are a key part of an organization's senior management team, helping to determine the company's overall business strategy. They partner with operations department to align the goals of employees with those of the organization and facilitate the creativity and innovation rather than simply train the workers to perform a function in the traditional way. So they also offer a key advice on corporate culture as business merge, open offices internationally, or recruit a diverse workforce. So let's try to understand how an SHRM in practice is taking place. SHRM helps the organization in achieving its objectives by training the managers to effectively handle the subordinates. Second, by creating awareness regarding the importance of various means of effective communication. Third, planning an efficient and the most importantly, a fair rewarding system. Fourth is maintaining motivational levels of the employees at an optimum. Fifth is taking appropriate steps to absenteeism and high turnover. Sixth is aligning the employee goals with the organization. Seventh, by quantifying the contribution of employee cost to the total cost of the organization and taking the step to optimize them. And the last one is proactively identifying the strategic needs of the organization. So, the strategic HRM in practice is the means of aligning the management of human resources with the strategic content of business. So, it is the critical concern of human resource management which act as an integral to the strategic management in any of the businesses. There are two variations of human resource management. The first one is a hard model and the second one is a soft model. So, in any of the organization, people are regarded as a human capital in which the organization invests and from which the organization expects return on its investment to achieve competitive advantage. Employees are seen as a resource to be utilized and at the same time as a cost to be minimized. The emphasis on hard models is on quantitative, calculative and business strategic aspects of managing the headcount's resource. So the hard models are strongly focused on the strategic integration of HRM with the business goals. So they highlight management interest and regard the employees as a means to achieve organizational objectives. Therefore, people are strictly directed and controlled through quantitative performance management and HR databases. Whereas the soft models stress the human resource aspect, which put it more concisely in hard models, the term resource is underlined, while in soft models, it is the term human. In soft human resource management, employees are considered as valued assets and a source of competitive advantage. They are regarded as capable and worthy, replace the direct forms of supervision, pressure and control as they are typical for hard human resource management models and conventional personnel management. Let's try to understand the approaches of strategic human resource management. Strategic human resource management model demonstrate how an organization links its business strategies and HR function to achieve its goals. Though SHRM adopt a resource-based philosophy, there are two models, that is a control-based and a resource-based. Control-based approach generally deals with control of the workplace and direct monitoring of employee performance. So according to this approach, HR strategies and management structure are used as an instrument and technique to enhance labor productivity and thereby increasing the profitability. The second one is a resource-based approach which satisfies the human capital requirements of the organization. So it can be sustained as a competitive advantage which is not achieved by an external market position but a careful assessment of an individual's own skills and capabilities that a competitor cannot copy it. So the main objective of this approach is improving the resource capability and effective utilization of the resources are to achieve the goals set by the organization. So to conclude, SHRM links the management and development of individuals within the organization to the business and its environment. While human resource management could be viewed as an organizing activity that takes place within this umbrella. So the initiative of SHRM is fast, proactive and integrated as compared to slow, reactive and fragmented in case of a traditional HRM. Thank you. Have a good day.